Hello everyone, this is Julian from the Nether Dolphinarium Snow Sanctuaries Facebook group. I wanted to make that pre-recorded video to talk about the modalities of our project. As you may know, with my friends Russell Hoskins and Andrew Ranju and Asulu, we are trying to make first contact with local populations of Torcheps dolphins in France. This is an old project that we have since several years that is primarily Russell's projects. He's the one that has theorized on set of the modalities of it, the technical aspects behind it, and I'm merely piggybacking on it, to be honest. I'm just an agent behind that. In a month or so, I should receive the twin prototypes, the machines that should allow me to communicate with a citizen subject. Unfortunately, COVID-19 was responsible for a bunch of delays in the fabrication of the device, but this will be solved soon, I hope, at least. So I wanted to talk about the modalities of this project, try to explain a bit how it worked, what was the reasoning behind, and why we're trying to do it. So here is what they should look like. The thing is, so how does it work? How is it supposed to work? Well, the primary idea by Russell is to do what we call frequency translocation. That's how radio works, basically. So you take what we say, for instance, well, primarily between 0 and 20 kilohertz, which is the whole human hearing range, and we translocate with the same bandwidth at another range with a similar bandwidth. So, for instance, between 20 and 40 kilohertz, 40 and 60 kilohertz, for instance. The idea being that if we do that, then a dolphin could hear what we have to say and then say something between, for instance, 40 and 60 kilohertz, and then the machines takes what they say between 20 or 40 or 40 or 60 or 60 or 80 or whatever, and translocate between 0 and 20. This will allow us, in theory, not to speak the language, because that is not possible with the technology we have. We will need some brain-computer interface or very science fiction-y tech, but to, in theory, fabricate a lingua franca, a bridge language, if you will, between us and them that will take months, if not years, of installation, of establishment, but which will allow for meaningful two-way communication. In theory, at least. As you may know, this is not a novel idea, first, because there are devices used by the military since the 40s, what we call the wet phones or the UQCs, that do the same thing, basically, at lower mid-frequencies for diver to submarine or, no, sorry, surface to diver or surface to submarine communication. And this is basically the technology behind radio, only we use very low frequencies instead of like megahertz or gigahertz mid-frequencies, and it's basically acoustic waves instead of radio waves, on a hydrophone instead of an antenna, obviously. But the base structure remains the same. You will tell me, but Julian, this has been done before. There were like a dozen other projects that tried since the 60s to speak with dolphins, and you will be right, there are. Today, I believe there is like 6 or 7 projects doing more or less the same thing. As far as I'm aware, they use different methods. Frequency translocation was more or less used behind Janus, the second John C. Lilly projects in the 80s, as well as I believe the CHAT project by Herzing kind of incorporates it. We believe that those projects fail on many grounds that have to do with methodology, the technical aspect of it, ideology even. It will be long to explain the reason why. And we are still open-minded on the possibility that we may be wrong, because obviously this is an open project, and if we're wrong, and if we fail to establish this, we will try to modify it or maybe approximate what was done by other projects. But so far, for many technical reasons, we believe that our method will be the simplest and the one that makes the most sense to establish two-way communication. But again, if you want to go and discuss it with me on stream or debate us, we welcome those interactions, especially if you're a member of the other projects, and we completely welcome any feedback on exchanges with other projects. In fact, we make our project public on the schematics of the project public. This is not the full schematic, this is only the components and whatnot, but we will make everything public because we want people to be able to replicate it and to test it on other subjects, or to try competing methods, alternative methods, and try to verify if those methods don't work better than ours. This is a long-term project that will probably last years. So, secondly, where do we want to do it? So, there is an island off the coast of Brittany called the Isle of Seine. This is exactly here. It's a very teeny island, 2 kilometers. This is where it is. This is France. This is Brittany, the Brittany Peninsula. This island, which is not very big and which is not very easy of access, have two things of interest. One, it hosts a very peculiar local Churchop's dolphin population. This population of 31 dolphins, which exists there here since something like 30 years, is peculiar in the entire world for having the teeniest home range for a cetacean population, only 5 square kilometers. Every day they make the same, more or less the same travel from here to there, like this, to hunt in this area. And as such, it will be in theory the population which will be the easiest to study and to access. Second thing, the island hosts most of the time what we call a solitary dolphin, solitary cetacean, called Randy or Donny, which occupies the island since something like 10 years. He's one of the most well-known solitaries. He traveled in many places in Europe, very friendly with humans, and has met other solitary cetaceans during his trips. And he's in theory very easy to access in kayak, even possibly acoustically, simply by having the device on one of the pontoons and trying to communicate to him. So the idea is to primarily try the device with him. It is possible that it may fail. We don't know that. We believe, for many theoretical, practical, and technical reasons, especially because of past cases, that this will work. But again, if we fail, we may modify the device. I will try to make subsequent streams trying to detail the modalities of our project and try to look at the other projects and where we agree and where we disagree with those. I don't want to say competing, but alternative projects today that have far more financing than ours and whatnot. The third thing is, why do we do all of this? Well, we believe that first contact is the necessary backbone for a truly egalitarian activism. We believe that cetaceans must be able to speak in their name, that they must be able to say what they want, what they desire, what are their claims, which is not allowed by the current activism. This is notably what Kenneth Levasseur, which we know personally and which we communicate with since 2013, and which we consider a friend, was wanted to do originally with his third phase program. We want to articulate first contact with any form of activism in favor of cetaceans, whether free or captive. I would believe that an activism that allows cetaceans to be at the center of their own desire, of their own claims, would be better objectively than activism that doesn't. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, don't hesitate to subscribe and like the video and share, obviously. And well, until next time.